How's my hair? Oh, hi. It's Wombat Central. This is Minion, and he's a little guy that I sewed. I wrote about him on a blog entry called Not So Simple, where I cleverly replaced the word S-O with S-E-W, because I had to sew him. Because the girlie wanted to win one out of the claw at the Walmart, and Mommy couldn't win it out of the claw for her, so I made one. Anyway, you can read about that. I am from Western New York, so hopefully most of these words will sound typical for someone living in Western New York. Here goes. Aunt, as in A-U-N-T, we say aunt. Although I do know a couple people who say aunt, but all I can think of when I hear aunt is Eddie Murphy's skit about Aunt Bunny and about how she's got the mustache and she's trying to kiss them and she throws her shoe at them and, hilarity ensues. Roof. I say roof, even though my mom used to say roof. And you'd think you would grow up saying the same pronunciation as your parents, but I say roof. What do you think, Soph? Roof it is. I say root, as in get your kicks on Route 66. Wash, oil, theater, iron.
Hi, I mean, you don't have to rush off, you know.
What I do, I let my iron on.
Salmon. Here's one I do wrong. Caramel. I say caramel. I say it like it's spelled C-A-R-M-E-L. Whenever I hear those commercials, do they have them where you are? The guy arguing with the girl about how caramel is pronounced. One of them says caramel, one of them says caramel. I say caramel. I know it's wrong. Fire, water, sure, data, ruin, crayon, toilet, although I do enjoy saying turlet. New Orleans, pecan. I'd like a pecan pie from New Orleans, please. Both, again, probably, spitting image. Alabama, lawyer. And I was thinking, who would say lawyer differently? Then I remembered the movie about a lawyer called The Client with Susan Sarandon, and her client said lawyer. So I guess people do say it differently. I say coupon. You may say coupon. But I don't spell it with a big capital Q, a hyphen, and a P-O-N. So I say coupon. Mayonnaise. I also say that one wrong. I say that one wrong. I say mayonnaise like it's M-A-N-N-A-I-S-E. But it's mayonnaise, I guess. All I can think of when I hear mayonnaise is Officer and a Gentleman, where the guy's down yelling at him, saying, "Don't eyeball me, mayonnaise." Syrup. My husband, Mr. Wombat, says syrup. Pajamas, even though my mom always said pajamas or jamas when we were feeling casual. Caught, orange, coffee, direction, naturally, aluminum, although I do love to hear people from other countries say aluminum because they say it way more fun than I do. Herbs. I don't say herbs because that reminds me of Peaches and Herb, and they're not about the cooking, they're about the grooving and the singing. So I say herbs when I'm cooking. What's it called when you throw toilet paper on a house? A really fun evening. I don't know. I guess we call it TPing a house. What is the bubbly carbonated drink called? I call it soda. I grew up in a town where they called it pop. And I went away to college, and my oh-so-worldly roommate from another smallish town called it soda, and I thought that sounded very chic. Très chic, so I started calling it that. What do you call gym shoes? I call them sneakers. Because you're not always going to the gym. You're not always going off to tennis. Although tennis is a fun thing to call it, which I think might be British. But sneakers. They're quiet, you can sneak and TP someone's house. What do you say to address a group of people? I guess I say, "Hey, you guys." What do you call the kind of spider that has an oval-shaped body and extremely long legs? I call it creepy. And I call it sir. And daddy long legs. I call it daddy long legs. What do you call your grandparents? We called them, I guess it was kind of formal, grandma or grandpa and their last name. And somebody in high school, I thought this sounded so odd. He called his grandparents grandma or grandpa and then their first name. And his grandpa's name was Dick, so it was Grandpa Dick. And I'm sure he was a lovely man, but somehow they just sounded wrong to me. So the funny part of it all is, now that I'm an adult and I have kids, we actually have our kids call Grandma and Grandpa Grandma and the first name, or Grandpa and the first name. So, but there are no Dicks. No, nobody's named Dick, so there's no Grandpa Dick. What do you call the wheeled contraption in which you carry groceries at the supermarket? I call it a cart. I have heard on occasion somebody call it a buggy, which makes me snicker just because we're not used to it here. What do you call it when rain falls while the sun is shining? I call it a typical Western New York day because we have really wacky weather and not a lot of sunshine. So it's always, woo, sun's out. What is the thing you change the TV channel with? The remote. We just call it the remote. So that's ours. Oh, and the only other thing is, this is not a pronunciation thing. This is a tone of voice thing. Because Mr. Man had a cold last week, my son, and this week I have some version of it that has lodged in my throat. And when I have this, it's actually not that bad anymore, but it allows me to do one of my favorite impressions. And this is evil because the only thing I remember about Brenda Vaccaro is her ads for feminine hygiene products. So it enables me to do my Brenda Vaccaro impression where I say, Playtex tampons, Playtex deodorant tampons. And I can use that deep, low voice and talk with authority about feminine hygiene products. So anyway, that's it. If you're so inclined, get out your video camera and do it for us too, so we can hear how you talk in your part of the country. Thanks. Bye. Say goodbye, Minion.
Talk, it's only talk. Arguments, agreements, advice, answers, articulate.